expressed on this episode of the Came to Believe Recovery podcast do not necessarily reflect those of KHLT, Take 12 Recovery Radio, or our affiliates. The opinions on this episode should not be taken as medical, psychological, or professional advice and are those of the host, co-host, and guests. KHLT and Take 12 Recovery Radio are not affiliated with any particular 12-step fellowship. Well, greetings, my friends. I am the Monty Man from Take 12 Recovery Radio, and this is the Came to Believe Recovery Podcast. And now, here are your Came to Believe Recovery podcasting broadcasters to launch us forth on this week's show. Well, welcome back, everyone. I say welcome back because we've been gone for the last few weeks on vacation and running around the countryside, and you've been tuning into episodes from the best of the Came to Believe Recovery podcast. Thank you for that. Thank you for sticking with us. But we are back in the studio with, of course, the CEO of Came to Believe Recovery, Mr. Tom Williams. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, buddy. Hey, Dragnet.
There you go. There you go. Yeah.
I never really watched it, but everybody knows that. So, well, I don't know that everybody, but I knew it.
Yeah.
The song.
It's one of those iconic ones. I mean,
right.
It's kind of like the Law and Order boom boom thing.
Right. Yeah.
People hear that and they know exactly what it is. Yeah.
Well, I'm kind of excited because we have a big development networking event here in New York City. I'm in New York City today for this recording. Tomorrow night, where a large donor advised fund organization has chosen us as a spotlight nonprofit.
Wow, that is
so
awesome.
They do a few events a year where they spotlight nonprofits to their donors.
Yeah.
So the event will be tomorrow evening, and we're doing it in partnership with the Salvation Army. So we're excited. People are flying in from all over the country. Our board of directors is coming, and
Wow.
So
Excellent.
Big event. But one of the bigger things going on this weekend is we are going to the Yankees Red Sox.
Oh, wow.
On Friday.
Wow.
So my California Dodger fans are going to get a taste of what really baseball is.
Now,
Picking them the Yankees team. You know, they all have everything to say, Monty, blah, blah, Yankees.
I know.
Would you like to go to Yankee Stadium? Oh, yeah.
I'm not a big sports guy, but I would love to go to Yankee Stadium.
Of course you would.
Yeah. But I'm as far as sports goes, I would rather watch baseball than football any day, because I get it. Football confuses me. There's just too many moving parts.
A lot of moving, and
parts.
pretty violent too, actually.
Yeah, I mean, how do you come out of that without brain damage? I just don't.
But most of them actually don't come out without some level of CTE.
Even out of high school, playing high school football.
Yeah. Anyway, doing good. So,
good.
Very big week in that kind of what the development category of Came to Believe. We're trying to raise awareness and to raise enough funding so that that's not a worry of mine. And that when somebody wants to hear the message, we can come whether they have money or not, or supplement it.
I know.
But we're able to bring this message as far and as wide as we can without the restrictions of money.
And coming up at the end of this month, we have the Malibu retreat.
Yes.
We Came to Believe Recovery Malibu retreat. And
which is public access.
Public access. And if you want to attend that thing, I would really encourage you today.
Right.
Because these things sell out today, to go to cametobelieverecovery.org and click on events and sign up for the Malibu retreat. I promise you, you will not come away from that disappointed.
Meaning the fee is like $300 or $320.
And that covers your food, your lodging, the retreat, the syllabus, all of it.
Right. And for those who say, you know, you don't charge for the 12 steps, because we hear that sometimes.
Yeah.
We say we're not charging for that. We're
No.
charging for the housing and the food you're eating.
Right. Right.
So $300 is pretty cheap.
People pay that. People that pay that and more to go to AA conventions, NA conventions, the World Convention. You know,
It's
I
the
went to
same
the
thing.
World Convention in San Antonio, the AA World Convention, and that thing cost. I think I probably spent about $1,200 getting there and doing the. You know,
But we don't get paid.
nope.
So that's what I mean. When us
You
doing
know,
the
everybody's
event,
volunteer. Everybody pays their own way to go.
Yep.
All the presenters. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So that's exciting stuff.
So,
And you can find out a
yeah.
lot more too on CatonToBelieveRecovery.org.
Yep.
Yep. The topic this week is finding freedom in discipline. It almost sounds like a contradiction because people don't like that. Well, I'll say people. Most of us kind of shy away from that word discipline because it just it's like nails on a chalkboard sometimes, particularly when you really don't know the context of what we're talking about. So we're going to dig into that, but we do have a mailbag, Tom. You ready?
Oh, all right.
All right, here we go. Let's open it up.
You've got mail.
Dun, dun, dun.
Mail in the mailbag, so open it now.
That's right. It's time for the Came to Believe Recovery Mailbag, where you send in your questions and comments. Love us, not love us, whatever. If you've got ideas for topics, if you just have a question that's willy-nilly or something really serious, we welcome it. The email address that we want you to use is Monty, M-O-N-T-Y, at CameToBelieveRecovery.org. You can also comment in the comment section on our YouTube feed or any of our podcast feeds as well, or wherever you get your podcast. All right. So the first one's kind of lighthearted. What's your talking to both of us? What's your guys' favorite secular song, and what's your favorite Christian song? You want to tackle this? By the way, the word secular isn't bad, ladies and gentlemen. It just means it doesn't necessarily focus on the gospel necessarily. But yeah,
I like. I gotta look on my phone. The No Fear.
who does
It's
it?
a Christian song. It's done by a lot of people. It's. I can't think. I got to look it up on my phone here, but
It's called No Fear.
yeah, I think it's No Fear, or it's like it is. Is it? Anyway, I'll find it. Darn it! I didn't know that question was coming. Why can't I?
By the way, this email comes from Jason in Arizona. So while he's looking that up, what about your favorite secular song?
So that, I would say any number of Led Zeppelin songs are my favorite.
I was going to say, I'll bet it's Led Zeppelin.
Well, I'm a guitar player, so I like playing the guitar parts, and trying to play them anyway. I'm a big Eric Clapton fan too, all the classic rock. So it's hard, we'd be hard pressed to pick one. But I would say in that category, my, really favorite, if you had to say who's your very favorite, if there was one group, it's the only one you could ever listen to again, I'd probably say Led Zeppelin.
Okay.
And just listen to them. So within that group, Ramble On is such a good song. And
Gotcha.
the design of it. So that would be one of my tops. So I will go today with Ramble On as my top secular song
Okay.
from Led Zeppelin. What about you? Well, I'm looking this up. What's your top secular one?
Okay. My top secular one is Desperado by the Eagles.
All right.
It's a cross between that and Neil Young's The Needle and the Damage Done. Because they both speak to my personal testimony. And as I was thinking about it, Desperado really, really did, because my drug dealer says to me, I want you to hear this song because I'm not selling you any more drugs. He says, because
Wow.
you're going to die. You're going to die. I don't want you to die. He says, so listen to this song. And he played Desperado, and that part in the lyrics where it talks about, come down off the fences, you're riding the fence, right?
Right.
You got to pick a side here. These things that are pleasing you will hurt you somehow. That pierced me like a knife when I heard that. And it brought me to tears. And I thought, that's me. This song is talking about me. And here my drug dealer is saying, you got to choose, man. My favorite Christian song is by Jen Johnson. It's called The Goodness of God. All my life you've been so faithful. All my life you've been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. And that speaks to me too, because all my life, that means even in my mess, in my active addiction, God was faithful. Did you find it?
Wait a minute. It's not fear. It's slaves to fear.
Slaves to fear.
Wait a minute. Is that how you say it? Wait, hold on. I'm going to find it.
It's an hour show, buddy.
All right. No longer slave. That's what it is. No longer slaves. It's a Bethel music song. No longer slaves. It's like my favorite right now. And
So
what it
Jen
is no
Johnson-
longer
Jen
a slave
Johnson-
to fear.
So it's a Bethel music song. The Goodness of God's a Bethel music song too.
Right. Now, a lot of people play this. I've heard different versions of No Longer Slaves, and it's No Longer Slaves to Fear. And I would say everything
Your
else.
favorite. Yeah, right on. All right. Well, Jason, there you go. Hope that answers your question. That was kind of fun. All right. We're going to flip the page a little more serious here. And I want to try to avoid getting too deep with this one and try to keep it simple. So Gall writes us and says, I hope you are, hi, Monty, I hope you're doing well. Today, whilst reading chapter 2 in the book of Acts, I came across speaking in tongues. Do you or Tom have a view on this subject? And as soon as I read that question, I thought, uh-oh. I was taught that speaking in tongues is a way that the Spirit in you communicates with God. And then later he writes again, and he says he thinks he answered his own question there. And then he has another question that I want to address too. But real quick, what's your take on that? Kind of hard not to get deep with that, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I think in the upper room, I think some of the interpretation, some of the things that would happen was they actually begin to speak in other languages.
Sure.
That the Holy Spirit allowed them now just to be able to communicate with other.
For the purpose of carrying the gospel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if they all learn, they could all of a sudden speak Spanish and French and Italian, or Greek or whatever. I think in some of the accounts in the Bible when it says, and they began to speak in other tongues, it more references that. But when it talks about utterances that only God can understand, that when you can't understand what to pray, God will give you utterances that are indiscernible. I mean, that's speaking to that, what people call that tongues, the language of a gibberish, it sounds like. Mm-hmm. And the Bible, I think, does back the idea that that's when nothing else, it's a prayer language that is to God, and it edifies the person praying
Right.
in that fashion. But it's not meant to be a public thing unless there's interpretation.
Right.
So, if God gives you utterances that edify you, who am I to
Power on.
power on?
Yeah.
I'm not against it. I'm not. I may have, even if I'm going to be honest with you, have had moments where I was not overtaken, but I was prompted to pray that way in a gibberish when I was in certain scenarios and settings, and but it's not a common thing for me. Mm-hmm. And it's certainly not one of the most important things we should be looking for
Right.
in our spiritual work, as Paul says. It's the least of the gifts.
He addresses that in Corinthians because they were having a problem with people prioritizing that as like the biggie. And he was like, no.
Yeah, and I, and this is where I don't want to go, where you're saying let's not go too
Deep.
not just less deep, but I've been in congregations and churches and places in my life where this was very much promoted, and they even said if you're not doing it, you don't have the Holy Spirit. And I don't think that's true. And then it became kind of a circus, and it became kind of an emotional, and it became kind of confusing and chaotic, and nobody knew what was going on. And I just said, something doesn't seem right about this. Then they start touching each other, and everybody's falling down and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And nobody gets up with a big revelation, and because I always say, if God is come upon you so strongly as to knock you down, you have no revelation from that? Like you don't get up to say nothing?
Yeah. If the only purpose was to knock you over.
Like, what's the revelation when they came upon you to knock? And then if the Holy Spirit's knocking you down, why does anybody need to catch you? Because clearly they're not going to hurt you. He can't. Mm-hmm. Anyway, we went too deep.
Yeah, we went to. I would just
Yeah.
say that I have experienced it personally. Like you, it's a rarity. It's really, really rare. I've never sought it out. Like I need to. This will help me deepen my relationship with the Lord or any of that kind of thing. I'm certainly not opposed to it. If the Lord spoke to my heart and it was clear that he wanted me to engage in that, I would be obedient. But scripture does teach us that the Spirit meaning the Holy Spirit, is subject to the prophet, meaning the person. So nobody can say, well, the Holy Spirit came upon me and I lost all control, and I was out like a light and he took over. I mean, that's not biblical. The Spirit is subject to the prophet, so he doesn't force himself on anybody. I have, as you have, I have experienced where a lot of this was going on in a congregation. I've also experienced where it was biblically accurate, where there was tongues and then there was an interpretation.
Right.
But that has also been extremely rare. Extremely rare. I think we would do well to be as obedient as we can be to the directives that are in Scripture, and not focus so much on outward manifestations of the Christian mystics, if you will. But that's just my take on it. But is it biblical when done properly? Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah. Well, Paul does say, if there's no interpretation, it should not be done publicly.
Right. And I think there are well-meaning people
Sure. I
that
agree.
maybe do this and maybe need some guidance or direction. And then there are people, I think, too, where somebody gives a message in tongues and somebody's got the interpretation, but out of fear, they don't give it. Is that the fault of the person that spoke in tongues? No. So,
See, but I've seen people, run out and get chased out of churches. A new believer or somebody come in and
it should be something that attracts people, not something that repels them.
yeah, and they leave and they don't understand, and it can't be. So then I go, you mean the Holy Spirit did that knowing that it was going to scare someone away? He said, those kind of things make me say, I don't know.
Yeah.
But your statement about it, I 100% agree with. It's biblical. It's happened to me.
Yeah.
It's not a big thing. I don't
Right.
seek it. But It's certainly not something that I would not defend, like be against it. You can't be.
Right.
How can you
Right.
be against it? You can't be.
Can't be. So Gall
Anyway.
talks about another issue, and that is his confusion about man being in headship over woman. And he quotes this, 1 Corinthians 11:3 establishes a divine order of authority. Christ is the head of every man, man is the head of woman, and God is the head of Christ. The verse reads, but I want you to realize that the head of every man is Christ, and the head of every woman is man, and the head of Christ is God. And then looking up the meaning of the word head, the term head is in this context can signify authority, leadership, or representation. Paul, the Apostle Paul, uses it to describe the relational order within the church, family, and the Trinity. Christ's headship over every man underscores his ultimate authority and role as the mediator between God and humanity. Similarly, the man's headship over the woman reflects a leadership role within family and church settings, not implying inequality, but a difference in roles and responsibilities, as both men and women are equal in value before God. So Gall, probably the easiest way to explain this is this. It's not like man is hoarding his authority over woman. No. His authority over woman as a representative of Christ is one of protection, is one of care, is one of value over the woman, to protect the woman, he's responsible, he's answerable to God, to Christ, for the way he treats her. And that is to be a reflection of the way Christ treats him. And that is to be a reflection of how the Father treats the Son, Christ. And so it's not this heavy-handed, you are to submit to me, although it does say, wives, submit to your husbands, which means come under the protective covering of your husbands. Totally different viewpoint than the male chauvinist, well, the Bible says I'm in charge of you.
Well, then it goes on to say, husbands, love your wives like Christ loved the
Like
church.
Christ loved the church, which
Which is-
gave his
and think-
life up for her.
Yeah, and took counsel
Yes.
from, at least that's a thorny one with people, and I have friends and people I know who are very strict with that, where the husband is the head of the household and in every spiritual head, and they take it very seriously, and anything within the relationship that, when it comes down to it, it's what the husband says goes, and they serve them even in the physical sense, serve them food
Yes.
and dinner and take care, and they
Yeah.
do all of that
And that is
because
so
he's the head over him, her.
Yeah, that's like a sponsor saying, if you want to stay sober, you're going to mow my lawn.
Yeah.
Right? It's abusive. It's an abuse of your authority to be like that. And because believe me, guys, God's going to hold you accountable the way to how you treat your wife or the girlfriend or your friends for that matter. He's going to hold you accountable. He's going to hold us all accountable to that.
And also, let me tell you, you love and honor a good woman, your days are going to be good.
Yes, they are.
You start pushing back and pressing against them and pushing them around. Come tell us how that is.
Yeah, let's know how that's working.
Yeah, let's know how that's working for you.
All right, that does it for the mailbag. I hope that helps, Gall. And Jason, thank you for your email. Remember, you can send your email into Monty, M-O-N-T-Y, at cametobelieverecovery.org. Let's close up the mailbag and get to the topic.
It means so much. A little piece of you just waiting to clutch.
You've got mail.
Yes. All right. righty. A reminder that our main website is cametobelieverecovery.org. You go there to find things out about retreats and a whole bunch of great stuff that won't hurt you. The topic this week, finding freedom in discipline. That word discipline, especially when you're a little kid, is hard to stomach because so often it makes a person kind of, their thinking go to this, talk about heavy-handedness. You know, you're going to be disciplined, right? And
Right.
I hopefully we can address this and not, that's not what we're communicating, is that there's this heavy-handed thing, but that this is something that's beneficial and can actually bring freedom. You want freedom? Freedom without responsibility is not freedom. It's selfishness. So you want true freedom? You're going to have to be responsible. Something that those of us who were drinking and using and doing the things we wanted to do when we wanted to do them, we weren't too keen on following directions.
We're not.
No. So what's changed? Do you still struggle with following directions?
I do not, and I'm going to find this opening talk that I did where I quote something from Relentless Elimination of Hurry about discipline.
Oh, great book.
And it's a great thing. I'm going to find it before we're done. I should have thought about, it comes up that now I got to remember this thing that I want to try to put in here. I did it in one of the opening talks. I don't do it anymore, but I used to. And I don't know why I don't do it anymore. But anyway, what's changed in me? Well, I mean, some order in my life, Monty. Some, I guess, I'm trying to think of how you want to say this, but I've learned that anything that you want to get good at, anything that you want to have grow in your life, anything that you want to become a real benefit takes practice, right? And it takes a level of quote unquote discipline. It takes a level of us deciding we want the result. We're not there yet. And here's the pathway I have to go. But in order to get it, I might have to put some other things aside, what I feel like doing. And I got to set up a habit and routines. And routines are discipline.
And it might be uncomfortable, right?
Well, uncomfortable is almost certain at the beginning. I mean, if you're growing, you got to be uncomfortable.
Right.
I want to get in shape. I want to work out. Well, I've got to go the science in the world, every practical analysis says that to make improvements in your physical health via exercise, you got to do it 4 or 5 times a week. Well, you have to put it in your schedule and do it 4 or 5 times a week, kind of whether you want to or not. It's never, I remember Elise used to say, it's not about motivation, it's about commitment.
Right.
Because you're not always wanting to do it. But people say, why are you going to the gym? Because it's gym day.
Yeah.
Don't always want to go.
But you go because you made a commitment to it. Just making the commitment required a level of discipline.
Yeah. And then I got free. And what did I get free of? I got free of soreness or an inability to participate in certain activities. I got a freedom to come and go and to have an active and healthy lifestyle because of it. There's a level of freedom that comes with being in shape. You can do stuff. You can participate in things. You can have life. And there's very little that I would say, no, I can't do that. Now, at my age now, there's more things. But not because I don't have the discipline for it. So, yeah, it's about habits and routines.
Let me ask you this. So one of the talking points, how does discipline reduce stress and anxiety? All right. So you have your job as CEO of Came to Believe Recovery I'll just tell the listeners right off the bat, this is not a stress-free job.
No.
You are in a well, a fishbowl, maybe not goldfish, but you're definitely in a fishbowl. You are looked at by a board of directors, you are looked at by your staff, you're looked at by your volunteers, and certainly by those who you take the message to, the beneficiaries at the Salvation Army or people that come to the private retreats or whatever. All eyes are on Tom in many instances. That carries a weight of stress that not everyone can handle. It takes a form of discipline to be able to lean on God on a regular basis, take care of yourself physically, right? I've got some geraniums. Geraniums are one of my favorite flowers, right? The instructions to fertilize them is every 7 to 14 days you fertilize them. I can't just fertilize them one time and expect them to bloom right. Right?
Well,
you
right.
You can't just go to the gym or do your prayer and meditation one time. You have to do it on a regular basis. Otherwise, the stress and the anxiety will take you out, right?
It will. Yeah. I like that you brought that element of the stress and how to handle it. It's not really about handling it. It's about, not engaging in it. So how do I get free of all the anxiety, the resentments, and the just all the negative feelings that come if you engage in all of that? Right? If there's a level where you just can't worry about what everybody says, there's this stuff, it has to roll off your back. So how do you do that? Well, you have a discipline of, I do my morning meditation. I stay close to God. I make sure that I'm being obedient with what we're doing. I'm committed to what we do. I try to do exactly what I say I'm going to do. I keep a good accountability group near me with some friends that are close. And when I do that, I'm able to stand when these things come and they don't penetrate. And I'm even able to deflect. I'm able to fix. I'm able to minimize any negative effect it has without it causing debilitating stress or paralyzing or causing me to react in a negative way or act out.
It doesn't mean those things don't affect you to some degree. It just means they don't take you out.
They don't take you out. I have to stay disciplined. I have to stay vigilant.
Yeah.
And I don't do it all the time. When I, don't think for any minute, Tom's perfect at this. This is what I should do. And if I do this, I stay pretty good, but I don't always do it. And no, I have meltdowns. You've heard my meltdowns. People that are close to me have heard them. Legitimate, what's going on kind of things.
Yeah.
It helps me because I live and I breathe and I believe in our program. I turn around, do my step 10, do my step 11 and get back on track. But no, it is, I do have days, Monty, where I wake up and I go, when's the break? When's the break? When is this gonna, how long do I have to, hold on, Lord? Is there a freedom someday from all of it? And the Lord said, well, you're pretty free now, aren't you? And
so the question is, contemporary discomfort, which you're talking about, can that lead to long-term freedom? Actually, the discomfort itself. Can that be a tool that actually benefits you? What do you think?
Definitely, especially if you're learning from it. If you take that uncomfortable as your guide to take the action you need to reduce the uncomfortability, you're growing and you're getting free. Mm-hmm. So it for sure does. I mean, I think if you're not pushing into some uncomfortable, you be careful that you're kind of staying still.
Yeah.
And now there's a difference between pain and horrible time and struggle and being uncomfortable. right? Being uncomfortable, you can be in very positive, moving forward with things going really well, but it's just a new phase. It's something that you're working into. It's something that you're not routined at. Not something that is such a negative thing. I don't like that connotation that we all have to have pain and struggle in our life. No. I mean, I think we're going to be uncomfortable and we're going to have to put in some effort. But that sounds a lot more enjoyable, if there was a word enjoyable
Yeah.
for that, right?
Well, I think pain and discomfort are going to come. We don't have to promote them.
Right.
They do
Right.
just fine all on their own. You know, I'm sitting here listening to you talk, and what keeps coming to my mind is the term emotional sobriety.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, where things hurt, feelings get, pinched. Situations in life that we have no control over can be uncomfortable, all that kind of stuff. But it's when they knock you off your center that we're in trouble. And if we're emotionally sober, which means we're not dependent on how we think other people should treat us, we're dependent on our relationship with our Creator. Then when those things happen, they don't knock us off. Doesn't mean they don't hurt. Doesn't mean we don't experience it, but they don't knock us off. And then what's so beautiful about it is when we experience these things that we go through in life, and we have this kind of discipline of emotional sobriety, and we don't get knocked out, we can share that with people that are getting ready to get knocked out and say, hey, listen, I may have a solution for you. Are you interested?
Right. So that's good. Yesterday, I think I made a mistake. I did something where I think, I upset somebody, and maybe I made a mistake. I shouldn't have done it. I didn't think. And it would be in my, back in my history of the world, it would have caused an overreaction. It would have caused me to let that sit in my head and brain and rattle around and how terrible you are. And I'd be anxious about it for 2 or 3 days, overthink it. Like we do, right? Do we do that, Monty? Over and over.
Yeah.
Why did I do that? I shouldn't have done that. Why did I do it? Man, how dumb am I? If I could just But I went, well, that milk is spilled.
Yeah.
So what can I do? Well, let me make some amends. Let me say I'm sorry, number one. And can I do anything to make it right? This is what happened.
Yeah.
And now we're in it, so let's deal with it. And I moved on. And if that other person is still mad or upset, you can't do anything about it. I mean, I did what I could do about it.
Yep.
So that emotional sobriety, I do that much more today, Monty. When I make a mistake, I don't let it hold me hostage for very long at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah. I was so emotionally dependent on circumstances being comfortable that I thought for the longest time I blame you, whoever you are out there. It'd be your fault. I did nothing wrong. It was your fault. I used to tell my dad would say, Monty, what you're constantly getting in these scrapes. I go, Dad, I'm not doing anything wrong. People just don't know how to treat me. And he'd look at me and go, that's your reasoning every time. The common denominator here is you, son. Right? And when I finally got that, and like you were saying, it may be stuff that I have absolutely no control over. I can't contribute to it or in any way, shape, or form. But it's my responsibility to check myself and figure out how am I going to respond to this thing. But see, I didn't look at it that way. I just figured if I can't change you and change the direction on how you're treating me, right, then I'm just going to walk away, and maybe that means I'm going to move. I did that before. In the middle of the night, did the midnight move, owed rent, didn't pay it, packed up the car, and just left because I didn't want to face the uncomfortableness of whatever was going on between me and you or me and the world. It was really pathetic, Tom. I mean, I lived that way for a very, very long time. I lost what could have been really good relationships, friendships, because I was so dependent on things going my way. No discipline in my life whatsoever, except to acquire whatever it is I wanted. Then I
Right.
was very disciplined, man. And let me tell you something, listeners. Addicts and alcoholics can be the most talented, the most disciplined, the most focused people in the world when it comes to getting the bag or getting the bottle or getting the porno or getting the whatever it is that we're leaning on. We'll die on that hill. So don't tell me that you can't live a disciplined life, because you do now, just in a different way.
Yeah, the lengths I've seen people go to get their
Man,
drugs or a encounter with a girl or a boy, or I mean, the
yeah.
efforts that were made were impressive. In the idea that, boy, you turn that around. Just even in, I was thinking when you were talking too about, like, actually how much being disciplined in all my activities, it's got such a negative connotation, disciplined, right?
Yeah.
But it's not disciplined as being punished. It's disciplined as being routine and habit centered. To play guitar, I have to to get good at it. You have to play every day. They say, who's they? I don't know. Guitar teachers in the world of guitar people.
The they, yeah.
And you know the they. I was like, who they are you talking about? But we all do it. They.
Right.
So I've read a million things about it and had guitar teachers. They say touch it every day, even if it's 15 minutes. That's how you get better. And there is days when it is a discipline to touch it every day. But when I do, what's the freedom? I can play. I can enjoy it. I make breakthroughs. And the definition of discipline, Monty, that I can't find it verbatim, but it's in John Mark Comer's book, The Relentless Elimination of Hurry, which he should give me commissions for how many people I've gotten to read that book.
Right?
I'm going to meet him one day because he lives out in L.A., right around where we go all the time. He pastors
wow.
a church there
Yeah.
that one of our leaders, Dara, goes to. He's actually not that hard to meet if you just put a little time to it.
Yeah.
But it says something like this. Discipline is doing today what you can do that will lead to doing something you can't do today tomorrow. If that makes sense. So the example is, and I use this at retreats sometimes. I do, but I don't talk to it about discipline, but I'll use this example. Can you bench press your body weight? Most people say no. And I say,
Right.
well, how about not yet? But can you do a push-up? Well, I can do a push-up. So therefore, this is do what you can do today. That will lead to do what you can't do today that you can do tomorrow.
That's
So
really
eventually, right, you'll be able to do the bench press.
good. Yeah.
So that takes discipline. You got to discipline. And you got to say, I'm going to do what I can do today, whatever it is in your life. That will lead to you being able to do tomorrow what you can't do today. And it works in every category,
Yeah, that's excellent.
right? Somebody's going to write it and go, gosh, where is that? I don't know what page it's on, but we'll find it and post it, or on the next show, I'll tell you.
So
I go with that, Monty. So what I do is not let myself be defeated by the fact that I can't get there.
right.
Like, it seems too far. It's not going to be, I can't do that, right? Something that's so outrageous for us. And every time you start and do what you can do, and then eventually can do what you can't do, it makes you realize, what limit do I really have? What is it that I can't actually do in life? And I think it's a great thing to say, I can't do that yet, but I did something and was able to do X, Y, and Z in my life. So I'm going to put that to test with this and see if I can at least make improvements.
That is excellent. I keep thinking of this word, we talk about the negative connotation that the word discipline has. If we would look at it, at where it really comes from in the sense of being a disciple, simply means that we're a student, right? We're under the tutelage. I like that word.
Tutelage.
Yeah. We're under the tutelage, of other people who are oftentimes more experienced, sometimes even experts in their field. Even if we're doing something like being a sponsee, and our sponsor has had a spiritual awakening as a result of those steps, and we have yet to do that. And we sit at the feet of our sponsor, and he guides us through the step work so we can experience what he's experienced, and live in freedom. That's being a student. That's being a disciple. If you're a teacher, you're a discipler. Right? All of it takes discipline. What amazes me, and it always makes me smile, is when I'm sitting in a 12-step meeting and I hear a person share about how they never finished high school, how they bombed in everything they tried to do, scholastically, right? But recently they went back to college, they got their GED, and now they have a 4-year degree and they're working on their PhD. And this is what they say: I never thought that I could ever accomplish even getting my GED, but look what happened. I hear it a lot. But it starts with, okay, I got to go back and get my GED. And that's no small task, by the way. I've looked at that book. You want to talk about, I can't. I look at all the requirements, especially in the area of algebra and all that stuff in these GED books. And I'm like, holy moly, that's harder than when I was in school. But they do it, Tom. They do it. They get their GED and then they keep pushing forward, and they get a 2-year degree, and then they get a 4-year degree, and then they're working on their master's, and then they get a PhD. And people can say what they want to about college, if it's a waste of time or if it's a big scam, or there's that going on. And I get it. I think it's better to go to a trade school. But whatever it is that you think you cannot do because you're never going to be disciplined enough, if you believe that, you're probably right.
You're probably right. I was just going to say. I'm one of those who did it. I'm one of those, Monty.
You are one of those.
I went through, and even when I started, I didn't know how I was going to finish 4 years from now. How is that? And my sponsor kept saying, yeah, but they're not asking you to do that yet. Right. What do you have to do tomorrow? Just do what you have to do tomorrow.
Yes.
The 4th year is the 4th year. You'll be ready. And I took that wisdom and just
Did you
took
surprise yourself?
Yeah, I looked at the 3 feet in front of me. That's it. That's what I was being shown to do. Do the assignment you have today.
Yeah.
And it's preparing you for those assignments that you don't think, that you hear the 4-year people doing, that you're like, what? I can't do that.
Well, it happens to people all the time when it comes to the steps. They're new. They come to a meeting and they immediately look at step 3, or maybe the topic is step 3. And they've never been to a meeting before. And they go, I have a problem with God. I have a problem with religion. I have a problem with faith. I'll never be able to get to step 3. You don't have to get to step 3 yet. You just walked in the door.
Right.
Just quit listening to the voices that says, you got to be at step 3 the day you walk in the door. No.
We often say that step 8 and 9, like making amends. When you walk in the door, if someone said, well, you're going to make amends, I might walk out the door. What do you mean?
Yeah.
I'm not ready for that. Well, no, of course not. That's step 9. You got to do 1 through 8
And
before you get to 9.
by the way,
if
and guys do this, I think, more than women. If you're new in your recovery fellowship, and you're getting that, you've only been there for a couple of days, and you're getting that feeling that you want to go out and make amends all over the place, stop. that takes a little wisdom that you might not have.
Yeah.
Get a cup of coffee. Let's talk about admitting what your problem is before. I see it all the time. Yeah, I went and talked to the little woman and she threw me out. Dude, You didn't even sit through the whole meeting.
Right.
And you're knocking on her door trying to fix it.
Yeah, and it's a great subject. It's the more we talk about it, the more I realize most of the freedom, most of the stability I have is through disciplined habits and routines and working through things and staying diligent and staying committed to some things that have resulted in a level of freedom that I never had.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
And because I've learned and because I practice this program, I realize every success helps feed the next success.
So discipline will strengthen your faith and it'll help build your character. And don't all of us want that? So how bad do you want it?
Right?
You often ask, how long do you want to stay sick?
Right.
How much do you want to get well? It's up to you.
Yeah. Smart goals, short term, measurable, achievable. That's what you start with, like you were saying. Start with something small that you can do, and then just stack them. And another great book is Atomic Habits, and stack things on each other. Habit. How do you start a new habit? That's another good one. Atomic Habits is great for teaching you how a tiny little change can have a huge effect down the road. And we think it can't, right? Get up 1 minute earlier a week.
Right.
In 10 weeks, it's 10 minutes. In 20 weeks, it's 20. All of a sudden, before you know it, you're getting up a half hour sooner and you're feeling fine about it. And it didn't even seem to, but it's because I followed this routine and I stayed disciplined and I stayed committed because I wanted the result of being an early morning person. Maybe, right? That's how you do it, guys. It's not it's no secret.
And please do not tell yourself, do not look in the mirror and go, as soon as I'm motivated.
Right. I just didn't feel like it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, those
you're
are
not
the people. I mean, yeah.
Motivation is overrated.
It's, the fitness center, and I have made a commitment these days to playing guitar for an hour a day. And even on my except when I'm traveling, I can't do it. I will play an hour a day, and I go to the gym. That's what,
Yeah.
and I go.
Yeah.
And
One of the things that we gotta close out here, but
yep.
this is going to sound like not that big of a deal, but for me it really was. So one of the things that I have disciplined myself to do for some time now is I have 2 shaker bottles, right? And I have a little frother thing that has spins, and if you want to mix something in the shaker bottles, I get my son and daughter-in-law sell Melaleuca health products and that kind of thing. And they do really well at it. One of the things that they have is flavored drink, sugar-free flavored stuff you can put in your water because you need to drink more water. Just about everybody needs to drink more water. You need to be hydrated. And then another thing which is the electrolytes. And so I mix my favorite flavors. The one I like the most is pomegranate lemonade, right? And then I put my electrolytes in there, which is usually something like raspberry, strawberry, or something like that. I put it in there. I take the little blender thing. Bzz, bzz. I make 2 shaker bottles before I go to bed every night. Stick them in the fridge. Stick them in my Buc-ee's mug, right? Which, by the way, has a Take 12 Radio sticker on the back. Shameless plug. And I drink that thing. I never did that before.
Discipline.
It's a discipline, and now it's automatic. It's like,
And you're getting results.
and I'm getting results. I feel better. I'm hydrated. You know what I mean? It's like, wow. My allergies react differently. My aches, and even though I have arthritis and sometimes it's bad, it's even better. What are we? 70% water. But if you're not drinking any water,
Right.
what are you?
I make my coffee every night. and that doesn't have the same health benefit, but it has a life benefit. So that when I wake up in the morning, I set the timer and there's coffee. Because that was a little bit of an anxiety to me. I didn't like getting up and having to go make the coffee. So what am I going to do about it? Well, I'm going to get a discipline. I'm going to make it the night before. And almost no matter what, Monty, I make that coffee the night before.
Yeah.
Because I do not want to not have it. Even when I'm like dead tired, that's where discipline comes. When you don't feel like it. It's really where the rubber meets the road on discipline is the night you don't feel like it.
That's right.
And you really don't want to make that shake, and you don't want to. I mean, I'm sure there's nights where you waited a little too long to do it, and you're tired, and now you're like, oh, I got to make my shakes. But do you do it every time? Right?
Yep. And
I'm always better. I get done with the coffee, and I go, I did it. And there's something about there's freedom in overcoming that laziness or that distractibility. It really is a thing, guys.
yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. All right.
Our closing song. I got to give kudos to AI here. So I wrote this song. It's a ballad, really. And it's a little long because that's what ballads are. They tell a story. So I wrote the lyrics to this. And then I wrote the melody to it, and then I fed it to AI, and this is what came out. I wish I could sing as well as AI sings, but it's pretty cool. But this tells my story, and here you go for what it's worth, and then I'll come back with my closing thoughts. I've entitled this "Alive and Free." Check it out.
Oh, it's a brand new day. The sun's shining bright. Got my feet tapping. Everything feels right. Living for the Lord with a heart full of grace. Shaking off the chains. Now I'm finding my place. Once I was lost in a dark, lonely haze. Searching for love in the wrong kind of ways. Drinking and using, I was deep in that game. But now I stand tall, dancing free from the shame. Every step that I take, every song that I sing, I'm lifting my hands, 'cause I've got something to bring. No more looking back, only looking ahead. Filled with the spirit of joy that I spread. It's great to be alive, let the whole world see. Living for the Lord, it's a jubilee. No more chains to bind me, I am standing tall. He saved my soul, now I'm giving it all. With a heart full of love, I'm giving back now. Helping others see the way, oh, I'll show you how. Well, once I took so much, now I'm freely giving. Sharing all the blessings that come from truly living. Singing for the lost, reaching out my hand. Building up the broken so they can understand. Together we'll rise, lift each other high. In this vibrant life, we'll learn to fly. It's great to be alive, let the whole world see. Living for the Lord, oh, it's a jubilee. No more chains to bind me, I am standing tall. He saved my soul, now I'm giving it all. I once fell to the floor in the depths of despair, crying out for mercy, but nobody was there. Then came the light, and with it His grace. Now I dance for Jesus, His love I embrace. With every twirl and spin, I feel so alive. Free from my past, this joy will thrive. So here's to the journey, to every new day. Living for Jesus. that's the only way. I'll share my story, I'll live out my song. With him in my heart, I know I belong. This life is a canvas, and I'm painting it bright. Each stroke is a testament, shining his light. It's great to be alive. Let the whole world see. Living for the Lord, oh, it's a jubilee. No more chains to bind me. I am standing tall. He saved my soul. Now I'm giving it all. So if you're feeling lost, don't you fear the night. Just take a step forward. Together we'll fight. With love in our hearts and hope in our eyes, we'll dance through this life 'neath the beautiful skies. It's great to be alive. I'm living it right. With Jesus beside me, everything's so bright.
Alive and Free is the name of that song, and that is my story. However, it wasn't always like that. Listen, a disciplined life often feels restrictive at first because it asks you to choose long-term gain over short-term comfort. It means showing up when you don't feel like it, saying no to things that pull you off course, and doing the small, consistent actions that don't always feel rewarding in the moment. But those choices are not chains, they're investments. Discipline builds structure, and structure creates stability. Over time, that stability reduces chaos, stress, and regret. Instead of being controlled by impulses, emotions, or circumstances, we begin to direct our own path with intention. That's where true freedom comes in. Freedom isn't about doing whatever you want whenever you want. It's about having the ability to live the life you actually desire. Discipline strengthens your ability to follow through, to keep commitments, and to grow beyond limitations that once held you back. Whether it's in your health, relationships, finances, your recovery, your spiritual life, disciplined habits open doors that undisciplined living quietly closes. What feels hard today becomes the very thing that makes tomorrow easier, lighter, and far more free. It's something to think about. Came to Believe Recovery strives to create and promote opportunities for life-changing spiritual experiences for individuals and families suffering from all forms of addiction. For more information, help, and support, visit cametobelieverecovery.org. I'd like to thank you for allowing me to be your host on this episode of the Came to Believe Recovery podcast. And I would encourage you to like, bookmark, and subscribe to this show. When you do, you will join the Take 12 Recovery Radio family and will be notified of all of our recovery-focused shows throughout the week. Until our next broadcast, when we provide the essential spiritual tools needed to thrive by sharing our experience, our strength, and our hope through our stories of how we came to believe.
This has been a production of Take 12 Recovery Radio.
Yeah, kitty, kitty, kitty. Meow.
Woof, woof.
This has been a Chicken and a Pig production.